Hello all, welcome to the materials for week 15 for English 1 for Diploma 3, KU31101 with me, Miss Mona Lisa Pasaribu. And we are now in week 15 as I've mentioned, and the last week for this semester. So I hope you are as excited as I am. And for this week's material, we are going to be more relaxed because the topic is a bit about how have you progressed over the semester, and I will be looking at the topic of reflective writing. So let's check the material for this week. Alright, so a quick outline for this video is we're going to have a quick review from last week's material, and then we'll have the objective of the lesson for this week, and we'll talk about the reflective writing, the Unit 1 until Unit 14 review, and you'll do a practice of individual writing. Alright, so a quick review from last week's material. So last week, over the last 2 weeks, you actually have done a bit of group work. So the first week you are doing an online debate, and then the second week you are doing a focus group discussion. And I reckon for these two exercises, you have practiced your critical thinking and delivering your thoughts in English. So my question here is, how can you practice critical thinking in FGD? Do you actually do a process of critical thinking in there, asking of who, what, when, where, who will be impact, how it will impact the future, who will be impact, who will be benefit, something like that. Okay, please answer this question in the YouTube comment that you have in this video today. So pause this video and post your answer in the YouTube comment. How can you practice your critical thinking in the focus group discussion from last week's activity? Alright, so there's only one objective for this week's video, which is about self-checking on your own progress over the semester. So we are going to do a self-check, and how you will do the self-check is through reflective writing. Okay? Yeah, so this is just a good picture to describe, to illustrate the reflective writing. So how have you progressed over the semester? Alright, so let's have a look at the definition of reflective writing first. So reflective writing involves consciously thinking about and analyzing what one has done or is doing, and you're using the first person yourself. Okay, so it is requiring you to map the progress and changes about a subject, a topic, and a learning journey, and make sense of it. So you're not only just writing it, just writing the summary of it, but how have you learned with this topic, okay, and make sense of it. Does it impact you in any way, or does it help you in any way? Okay, but yeah, and then it says it's more than just a description of your observation. It's not only summarizing, but it also involves critical evaluation such as experience, okay, and then the connection between the theory and practice. So let's say, for example, from last week's activity, we have done focus group discussion. Now, how do you think that this can contribute to your future career, for example? So maybe in the future, when you work 5 or 7 years from now, you work in, let's say, in a commercial, in e-commerce, okay, and then you are asked to lead a discussion, a forum, using the knowledge that you have learned from this material, from last week's material. You can actually that can actually help you to to be a better leader in a focus group discussion, for example. Okay, so you kind of link between the theory and the practice, and then link the ideas of what you learn from your coursework. Okay, so it's not only about summarizing, but it's also linking it through to your future career, for example. Okay, so that's reflective writing. So it's not only summarizing, but it's deeper. So it involves evaluations, how have you progressed, and how this material can help you in your future career, for example. Okay. So in order to create a reflective writing, we need to review first. So we will have a quick review from last week's over the week's material, so week 1 until week 14. So let's have a quick review from the first week, so week 1. In week 1, we are talking about present tense, and we talk about the topic of encounters. And we talk about the expressions of formal and informal greetings and how to initiate a conversation, giving compliments to people or talking about weather, talking about something general, and etc. Okay, so those are the discussion in week 1, everyone. If you forget, you can go back again to week 1 slides and check the material. And then in week 2, we were talking about the academic life, specifically the study life, dormitory life, and also extracurricular life. And we are all actually making rules for the academic lives using the imperatives. And we also talk about the imperatives in positive using verb, and then the negative using don't or never, to make the rules for the academic life. Now in week 3, we are talking about the home industry, and then we talk about the home industry product. We talk about the features of home industry product using used to, used for, made of, or made from, and also the comparison using comparative degree. Okay, so that's what we did in week 3. And in week 4, we are talking about the environment, specifically the environmental organizations and the environmental heroes. And then we talk about the modal verbs use. Okay, so that's something that we discussed in week 4. Now we move on to week 5. For week 5, we were talking about advertisement as our topic. And in week 5, we also talk about the types of sentences. So we talk about the simple sentence, compound sentence, complex, and also compound complex sentence. Okay, so that's what we discussed in week 5. And I think you already know the difference between among all those types of sentences. Now for week 6, we're talking about online market, and we talk about the pros and cons about online market, and we talk about the offline market, the differentiation between the online and offline market, and we also talk about the grammar of modal verbs for giving advice. I think we talk about the level of the advices as well. If it is a strong advice, then you need to give modal verbs which has the strong context in it. Okay, so have a look again the materials for week 6 if you forget about this. And for week 7, we are talking about product design. We talk about how the design can help with the production. Let's say, for example, it's easily mass produced, or it's stackable, it is durable, and etc. And we are talking about the adjectives related to production. So related to production, specifically to the product design. Okay, have a look again the topic for week 7 if you also forget about this. And for week 9, we are talking about the production, specifically to tell about production in one specific time using pie chart. So we're talking about one annual company's production, and then we also talk about the use of transitional markers in delivering your ideas about the annual productions of a company using the pie chart. And for week 10, we are talking about inventor and invention, some of the past invention and with the inventors, famous inventors. And then we also talk about past tense. We identify some of the texts that use past tense. And also we identify some groundbreaking, I would say, or some famous inventions, past invention. And then in week 11, we were talking about transportation as our topic. And we talk about future transportation specifically and how you predict future transportations, how you foresee future transportation. Okay, and obviously the grammar that we were using, discussing was about future tense. And in week 12, we are talking about the development or evolvement of gadgets. So we are not only talking about the gadget of phone, because maybe most of you will think anytime you hear gadgets, you will hear phone. But it's actually more than that. You can actually call this laptop is actually a gadget, or PC is also a gadget. Even television can also be called as gadget, and it has development from the past, present to the future. So in week 12, we were discussing about the development of gadgets using the grammar of past, present, and future. So it's kind of the integration from week 10, 11, and then you talk about it in week 12. Okay? And then in week 13 to week 14, we basically discuss basically practicing orally on how you are giving your ideas, your thoughts critically. Okay, so in week 13, we are talking about esports, and we talk about the expressions of agreement and disagreement. And you also did an online debate, and you know the role of a positive team and also negative team. We talk about how you construct your arguments using the simple way of RL, assertion, reasoning, evidence, and link back. And then you deliver your ideas based on that pattern. Okay, so that's for week 13. And for the last week, week 14, we are talking about digital divide as our topic. Which there is a division, or there is a gap, as you say, between the areas where it has a lot of infrastructure and the areas that don't have that. Okay, so that's what we are doing. And then we also discuss, we make a discussion forum, this group discussion, and you deliver your thoughts, you'll deliver your arguments. If you agree, you can use the expressions of this agreement, and then if you disagree, you use the expressions of disagreement over there. Okay, so that's pretty much what we did over the semester. Now, on your own, I want you to write down a reflective writing on your progress over the semester. It should cover what was your expectation for the course. So what was your first expectation for the course? So in the beginning, before I joined Miss Mona's class, I expected my English should be in number 8, let's say, for example. And now, how have you progressed? Did you meet your progress? Did you meet your expectation or not? Or maybe you're over your expectation. So maybe you get 9 or 10, something like that. And you can also talk about how you can apply the knowledge in your study. So we learn about environment, we talk about digital divide. How can you apply these topics and this knowledge in your study? And also for number 4, what do you need to improve for your own betterment? Okay, because we will still have classes in the next semester. So how would you like to improve yourself? And also, what do you want this lesson to be improved? Okay, and then the last one, whether at the end the course meets your expectation or not. Okay, if not, then tell me why. We can always work together to make it better, or to improve this. Okay, so please write down a reflective writing. Of course, you can always write it down in your Word, so it's easy for me to read it later during the practicum session. Okay, and this is the example of the reflective writing that you can have a look Okay, and you can always add more columns if needed. Yeah, so in week 1 we learn about encounters. I learn on how to greet my friends in English, and I also learn the expressions to greet people formally and informally. And I think this is very useful for me in my future career. When I meet local people or when I meet foreigners, I know what expressions I can use to greet them in a formal and informal situation, something like that. Okay, so you also need to link how these materials can help you with your future career, for example. Okay. Yeah, and that actually will bring me to the end of my video for the first semester, everyone. Okay, so keep calm. The semester is almost over, and as I've mentioned, next week on the week break, we are going to have a quick meeting just to let you know on how we are going to do the tests. Okay, I will inform you for this meeting in our practicum session in week 15. Right? And here are the references for this week's material. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been a wonderful semester, I would say, to be with you, even though we are still online. And I hope you also learn things from me, learn some things or many things from me over the class. Okay, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and reading your reflective writing during the practicum session. Okay, remember, it's your own self-reflection. So how have you progressed during the semester? And I hope you do. If not, probably you can work out something later. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you have questions, just let me know. Yeah, ciao, bye.